Hello guys. Welcome to Movie World. In today's video we are going to explain the movie called Old Boy, which was released in 2013. In the beginning, an alcoholic advertising executive, Joe Doucette, is shown going on with his routine life in the year 1993. At work, he receives a call from his ex-wife Donna, inviting him to their daughter's birthday party, but he refuses to go because of his work commitments. Donna gets upset with him for not being there for their daughter. But he does not seem to care. His boss asks him to finalize the deal with a new potential client, although Joe convinces him to give them the contract. But loses the deal over flirting with his girlfriend. After the failed meeting, Joe gets drunk. And in the way, he buys a gift for his daughter from a Chinese woman. He asks his friend Chucky to let him in his bar. But he refuses. Joe spots a woman on the street with a yellow umbrella and collapses. He wakes up in an empty hotel room that has all his necessities. But he appears to be locked in it. He keeps on knocking on the door, calling someone to take him out. But nobody answers. The room contains nothing important, but just a photo on the wall, a welcome sign from the hotel, a shower, and a TV which airs fitness programs. One day he saw the news on television that his ex-wife Donna has been raped and murdered, and he is being suspected as the murderer. As more and more time passes, the loneliness gets to his nerves and he starts hallucinating. After getting frustrated by the situation, he commits suicide. But is saved by his unknown captivators. And he finds out they are monitoring his every move through a camera. He comes across a TV show named Mysteries of the Crime, where the host tries to investigate Donna's case and also interviews his daughter's adoptive parents and shows her video as well. Joe gets overwhelmed to see her playing cello and starts writing letters to her explaining how he felt after seeing her on TV. He pledges to stop drinking and be a better man for his daughter. He starts following the fitness programs and reshapes himself while struggling to find ways to escape. Before he could leave the room, after 20 years, his daughter is shown on TV again, saying she will try to forgive him for what he did. She says she hates him, but also wants to understand his side of the story. Joe passes out again and wakes up in a trunk with a cell phone with Mia's picture on display, new clothes, and a small amount of money. He spots a girl at the corner of the ground with the same yellow umbrella and starts chasing her. Some boys interrupt him, but he beats them up to continue his chase, although he loses sight of her. But meets a young girl named Marie Sebastian, who offers to help him. He refuses the offer but accepts her business card. He goes to the same cafe, Chucky's, again to meet his friend and tells him what happened to him during 20 years of abduction. While talking to him, he receives a call from a stranger who congratulates him on his freedom and asks him to think about his deeds to find out what got him in that miserable situation. Joe asks Chucky help to find out about the people from the list he has prepared, assuming they can be behind his captivity. But they can't find anything helpful. Joe collapses due to dehydration and poor diet. And Chucky calls Marie for his treatment. Joe was unconscious and was laying in the bed. She reads his letter and is moved by his feelings about his daughter. After some time, Joe wakes up and finds that Marie has read his all letters. He gets angry with her for reading letters. But she calms him down and again offers her help to take him to his daughter. Joe and Marie tried different restaurants to find out the one who delivered him food during captivity. After finding out the restaurant, Joe spots a suspicious man there and follows him to the warehouse where he was held captive. After killing him and the bodyguards, Joe finds the man named Cheney and tortures him to find out who was behind his kidnapping. Cheney reveals he is not the owner of that place and was hired by the stranger to monitor him. After finding out about it, Joe makes his way out of the warehouse after finding his assistants but gets injured in the fight. Two strangers pick him up by saying he must take care of himself as it's not over yet and drop him at Chucky's. He once again calls Marie and her friend for his treatment. Joe overhears them talking about him. Tom asks her to inform the police but she disagrees, leading to an argument between them. Tom requests him to not to hurt Marie because she has been through a lot already. Joe tells Marie about Tom's feelings but she does not pay much attention. As Joe does not want to get her in any trouble so forces her to leave as well. The next day, Joe spots the stranger in the cafe and attacks him but his bodyguards takes him down. The stranger confesses he is the one who raped and killed his wife. He offers to give his confession to Joe, along with $20 million in diamonds, and will commit suicide if he finds out why he imprisoned him for 20 years. He also threatens to kill Marie if Joe does not do as he says, and he agrees to find out the answers to his questions in 46 hours. He shows the video of Marie being abused, and Joe rushes to save her. He finds Cheney there who intends to torture him as he did. But just before he could cut his throat, Cheney receives a call from the stranger, who offers him money to release him. Joe turns toward Marie and apologizes to her for dragging her into this mess. She intends to move to her friend's house, as she does not feel safe there. Joe receives a call from the stranger and tells Marie that whenever he calls him, the same music plays. She runs it through a music recognition app and finds out it's the theme song of the Evergreen Academy. Joe reveals it's his former school so he suspects the stranger is somehow linked to it. They go to talk to the headmistress, where Joe sneaks into her apartment. As Marie distracts her by asking questions about him, he finds a picture of a boy named Adrian Doyle Price from the yearbook. Joe calls Chucky, who is also his schoolmate, and asks about Adrian, but he does not know anything. Joe and Marie make out in a hotel room without realizing that Adrian is spying on them with a hidden camera. Meanwhile, Chucky finds out Adrian is the brother of a girl named Amanda Price and calls Joe to tell him about it. Adrian finds out his messages and deletes them before Joe can read them. Adrian arrives at Chucky's and chokes him to death for using abusive language for his sister. At night, Joe and Marie go to the school again and finds out about Adrian's sister, Amanda Price, from the records, and Joe remembers meeting her at the school, where he and his friends ragged her. He also remembers seeing Amanda with an elderly man at the greenhouse back at the school, which they find out to be her father. He tries to call Chucky but can't reach out to him. Marie finds a box in the back seat of the car, but gets shocked to see it has a tongue in it. He intends to go to Adrian, but Marie does not let him by saying he won't be able to see his daughter if he kills him, but he convinces her to let him go alone. He arrives at Adrian's penthouse and kills his bodyguard. He tells Adrian that he found out about him and Amanda. Adrian, who thought of his father's abuse as a gesture of love, holds Joe responsible for destroying his family. He tells him that when he told everyone about seeing Amanda with their father, they had to move to Luxembourg, but his father committed suicide after killing his family. But Adrian survived. Joe asks him to take him to Mia. So he takes him into a studio, revealing it was him who recorded the show, Mystery of Crimes, just for him, and the girl he saw is not Mia, but a paid actress who has been working with him for so long. Joe cannot believe she is not his daughter and starts beating him up, but he keeps on insisting Joe on asking why he let him go. He asks about his daughter and Adrian reveals the most shocking truth, that Marie is actually his daughter, who he brought up just the way that she would love a man like him. Adrian calls Marie Sebastian, but Joe begs him not to tell her anything. Adrian shoots himself after revealing that he let Joe leave because he wanted him to experience the same pain which he cost him. In the end, Joe writes a letter to Marie asking her to forget about him and move on with her life. He also sends her the gift which he bought for her 20 years ago and also leaves most of the diamonds for her. Well, he gets back into the same old room after paying Cheney with the rest of the diamonds.